Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're all stuff then. Not
go
too
live.
bad. Fred?
Just,
Overleaf. Yep, so this is the 2023
Okay.
LaTeX workshop.
Yep.
This is Fred, who's going to be presenting the first half, and I'm Ronald. I'll be presenting the second half. We're both education directors. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah, so slides, we'll be using this overleaf doc to demo the overleaf, the LaTeX code. And so, bit of an introduction why you should use LaTeX over Word. Basically, it's a lot easier to just write mathematical equations and symbols in LaTeX rather than Word. In Word, you're gonna have to like fiddle around with like insert equations and whatnot, and that's just a pain in the ass. So LaTeX is definitely the way to go. So first things first, pronunciation, you can either pronounce it as LaTeX or LaTeX. I like to pronounce it as LaTeX. Of course, it's a markup language, and here's just some background history. Created by computer science Donald Knuth, and it is now in a newer version called LaTeX. And there are a couple of different environments that you can use to write LaTeX in. The most popular is, of course, going to be Overleaf. That's where I'm going to also be doing LaTeX in. And there are other popular ones, say like Visual Studio Code. If you guys do like comp sci, then VSC, you're going to be using that environment a lot. And there's a lot of others like Notion and Text Studio, but they're not as popular. Okay. Okay, structure of a document. Firstly, you have the top part, and that's where you include all of your packages and things. So say, for example, you want to insert an image. Then you'll need to first insert a /use package, insert an image. That would allow you to insert images throughout your document. And the second part is where all of your LaTeX code goes, and that is the body. Okay, so notice in the first, we have a /begin document and a /end document, and all of your code would be in between those two. Okay. Again, the top, the first half is the preamble. That's all of your packages, and the body is where all of your code goes. Okay. Just some important packages that you should always add when you're doing maths. The first one is ASMath, and the second one is AMSSYMB. They just allow you to do a lot of different math equations and whatnot. And you can always add parskip if you want to remove some indentation at the first on the first line of your paragraph. LaTeX adds that automatically. Okay. Okay. Now for the structure of your document, you can structure your document using the command /section, and you can have subtopics using the command /subsection. So if I go over to the document over here, we can have a /section, and inside the /section we can have like text, so like question 1, another section for like question 2, /section question 3, and if we hit compile, you'll notice that this nicely gives us a sequence of titles. Okay. And under the titles, we can also have subtitles. So that would use the command /subsection. Okay. So if we have question 1.1 /subsection question 1.2 /subsection question 1.3 and hit compile, notice that we now have subsections. Okay, so this allows us to nicely structure our document in a sequential way. Okay. And you can include a table of contents into the document by using the command /table of contents, and that is exactly what we did in the first part. To generate out this nice table of contents, we just simply add the command. And the next point is how we can list items. We have two main ways we can list items. Firstly, in bullet points, and secondly, in sequential numbers, so like 1, 2, 3. The first one, let me go through, is the /begin enumerate. So if you want to have these numbered sequence, we need to enter an environment called /begin enumerate. Okay. And every time we have a /begin something, we always need a /end to end that environment. Okay. Notice at the start we have a /begin document. At the end, we also need to have a /end document. Okay. And within the enumerate environment, to actually list out each item, we use the command /item. Okay. So if we have a /item question 1, and we have a /item question 2, /item question 3, and we compile the code. Let me get rid of this. Notice that we get a really nice list of 1, 2, and 3. And you can keep continuing adding, using the command /items if you want to have more in your enumerate environment. Okay. And the other way is we can use bullet points. And to use bullet points, instead of using the enumerate environment, we instead use itemize. Okay. And if we hit recompile, notice instead of having question 1, 2, and 3, we instead get bullet points. Okay. So these are nice ways to structure your document. And one thing about LaTeX is there are two modes you can be in. The first one is being in text mode, and the second one is math mode. Okay, so notice in text mode we have standard straight words, whereas in math mode, notice this expression is slightly slanted or in italics, and that just helps you differentiate between what is text and what is math. Okay. So next thing is we can actually write mathematical expressions alongside text. So let me just demo it in this overleaf document. So to actually enter math mode, we actually need to use the $ symbols. And whatever math we want to write, we have to write it inside these two $signs. So there, this is in math mode. Okay, and we hit compile. Notice that the output is slightly slanted, and also notice that when you're in math mode, LaTeX automatically gets rid of any spaces. Okay, and let's contrast this with if we're not in math mode. So this is not in math mode. Notice that the outputted text, it's nice English words, and we also get the spaces in between. Okay, so overall, if you want to use math mode, we use the $signs, and whatever math you want to write, we write them inside the two $signs. Okay. And the other way that you can use math mode is instead of using $signs, we can have the / left bracket and / right bracket. But I personally prefer the $signs as we have to type less, essentially. Okay. Whoopsies. Let me go back. And the next part we're going to look at is if we want to emphasize some important formulas. And basically, if we want to have some mathematical expression that is on a new line, so it makes it really easy to see. Okay, so let me demo it over here in the LaTeX document. So this is the Pythagoras theorem. And since the Pythagoras theorem is a really important theorem, we want to have it centered on a new line, just to make it really visible to the reader. And to make it centered on a new line, we actually use the double dollar symbols, okay? And inside this double dollar symbols, we write a squared plus b squared equals c squared, okay? And then we hit compile. Notice on the output we have this is the Pythagoras theorem, and the a squared plus b squared equals c squared appears on the new line, just to make it stand out more and be easier to read by the user. Okay, so the double dollar sign is for emphasizing some important formulas or equations. So now for some basic symbols. The first one we're going to talk about is infinity, and you can represent infinity in LaTeX using the command /inft. Okay, so let's go ahead in the LaTeX document. And since the infinity symbol is a math symbol, let's write them inside the math mode. So that would be your $sign. So /inft, and let's compile. And notice on the right, we have a nice infinity symbol outputting, okay?
By the way, if you do have any trouble, I am going to be coming around, just like put your hand up. I'll try to help you fill in any like maths that you may have missed in the beginning, or just help you out in any like parts that you don't understand.
Okay. Next one is going to be how we do power. A lot of times you're going to be doing things like a squared, x squared, y squared, whatnot. And you can use that in LaTeX using the caret symbol. So that's the up cap symbol. So a to the power b, you can write that as a to the power braces b. Let's demo that. So a, caret symbol, b. Okay. And you get a nice a to the power b. And if you want more expressions inside the power, say for example you wanted a to the power b plus 1, okay. If you simply just write a to the power b plus 1, like this, okay. Notice that on the output we only get a to the power b, and the plus 1 is separate on the outside, okay. And to actually fix this, we have to use the curly braces around the b plus 1, okay. And that just lets LaTeX know that I want to group up the b plus 1 into the power, okay. And notice on the output we have a nice a to the power b plus 1. Next is how we do superscripts and subscripts in text. So the command for this is simply /text superscript if you want to have some superscripted text. So let me go back. So hello, and the command is /text superscript, and inside hi. Okay, and compile. Notice that the hi is actually superscripted above the hello. Okay, and the next one is how we do subscripts. This one is pretty similar. Instead of having /text superscript, we instead use the /text subscript. Okay, so replace this with /text subscript. And now notice on the output we have the hi below the hello. Okay, so these are just some ways we can subscript and superscript our code. Now the other, I guess, easy way we can subscript is just by using the underscore. Okay. So the easy way for superscript is the caret symbol, and the easy way for the subscript is the underscore. So let me demo this. So hello, underscore, so we have to be in math mode, underscore A, and then if we have hello subscript B, notice that the underscore allows the A to be the subscript, and the caret symbol allows the B to be in the superscript. Okay, so just some nice ways of doing these. Okay. And some basic symbols, part 2. These are your really common that you're going to be using. The first one is fractions, and they can be written using the /frac command, and followed by 2 sets of braces. The first set of braces is to denote the numerator, and the second set is to denote the denominator. Okay, so A over B, you can write that as /frac A, B, wrapped around in braces. Okay, so if we go back to our LaTeX doc, and also notice that fractions, they're math symbols, so we need to wrap them around these dollar signs. Okay, so /frac, if we have A plus 1 in here, and then B plus 1 in the bottom, and we compile, notice that the A plus 1 pops out in the top, and the B plus 1 pops out in the bottom. Okay. And that is how you write fractions. Nth roots, you can denote that using the command /square root, n wrapped around in brackets, followed by the braces. So, for example,
what do you mean have like a slight break? Just like, because you are going through a lot of stuff, you know?
it's too fast.
Like a lot of people that just came in can't catch up.
So should we just lay down the beat?
I think maybe we finished, like, what else is there? I think maybe we
We
finished
can take a break, and then like when we
take a
transition,
break, yeah.
That's
Because
good.
we've only been like 20 minutes and we're already like halfway through.
Really?
Yeah.
This one has like a lot more.
15
Oh
minutes.
shit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just like maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so looking at this example, the cube root of x, you can write that as /square root, and because we're taking the cube root, the 3 would be in the brackets, and whatever's inside the cube root x is going to be inside the braces. Okay. So a quick example in the LaTeX doc. So we can have /square root. If we want to take the 4th root, we need the 4 wrapped around in brackets. And let's say we have x plus 1. We're taking the 4th root of x plus 1. So that'll be wrapped around in braces. Okay, compile. Notice we get a nice 4th root of x plus 1. Okay. And the thing with square roots, you actually don't need to write the 2 wrapped around in braces. You can simply just get rid of it, and LaTeX would infer that you mean the square root. Okay. So this simply just outputs the root of x plus 1. Okay. Number systems. So a lot of times you're going to be denoting like the element, the set of real numbers, set of complex numbers, and so on. And you want, rather than using the regular like English R's and Z's, we want to output using like having this nice set of integers symbol, and we can write that using the command /mathbb, and whatever set you want, you write that letter inside the braces. Okay. So an example, the set of integers denoted by like the Z symbol, you can write that using /mathbbz. Okay. And that is the same for all the others. Say like real numbers, you would, instead of having Z, you would denote it using R, complex numbers C, natural numbers N, and so on. Okay. Okay, and the next one is how we can write piecewise functions. Okay, so piecewise functions, we actually need to begin an environment called cases using the /begin cases command. So if we go back to our doc and type /begin cases, remember every time we have a /begin, we need a /end after it to tell LaTeX that we've ended the cases. Okay, and say we want to write the piecewise function for the absolute value of x, and that's going to be x when x is bigger than or equal to 0, and minus x when x is negative. Okay, and the way to write this is x, and to denote the if x is bigger than or equal to 0, we denote it using the and symbol. So and x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So looking at this, this is going to be x if x is bigger than or equal to 0. Okay. And in LaTeX, to start a new line, we simply just use the // command that tells LaTeX you want to enter a new line. Okay. And remember, the absolute value of x is minus x if x is less than 0. So we have minus x if x is less than 0. Okay. And compile this. Oops, let me wrap it around in numbers. What am I screwing up? No, what am I screwing up? Huh?
Yeah, so whenever there's an error, they do tell you.
Misalignment. Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they don't use this, right?
It's not end. I saw it was end. Oh, it's just the commas.
I'm pretty sure they don't use
Pretty sure they use end. That's weird.
Oh.
Let me quickly search it up. /begin case. It's end, right?
Yeah, it's
That's weird.
is it because you're using those line? Maybe because it's in line. Maybe you have to use.
I got rid of it, and it's like
No, because I'm pretty sure you have to use the.
like that.
Yeah, because
It worked in a run through though. So like that.
Yeah, and then at the end.
/ that. I don't think that changes anything. I still like fucked up.
And then use the.
And then a new line.
Oh wait, did you import maths?
Oh, okay. That was where we fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember how in the start we were like, you always import the two.
I think you just restart because some people didn't hear it right.
Okay. Remember how at the start I was like, always import as math and as.
Yeah,
S,
so
Y, and B.
basically,
That's what we screwed
not
up.
all functionality is available at once with LaTeX. Sometimes you have to import a package, and for us, generally we try to import right here ASM Math and ASM Sim.
Yep.
So those are all of the math things that we need, and all of the symbols that we'll also need. So something like /mathbb, which we taught, is also in these packages. So just try to include them. We'll show you how to do that.
That's what I forgot to do. So you can include packages using the command /use package. And the first one was AMSmath. Sorry, AMSmath. And oopsies.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah.
And the second one was ASMath. And the second one was AMSmath. 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 And the second AMS-SYMB. AMS.
Yeah, so just for reference, AMS stands for the American Mathematics Society.
Okay.
Which is, sorry?
He's spelled math wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, great. There we go.
Yeah, but yeah, those are the people that make all the symbols.
Yeah, and as you can see, the absolute value, this cases thing has been fixed up, and the main problem here was we didn't import the package. So yeah, generally just always import your packages before you start your documents.
And if we do something like f of x is equal to, you see that it is actually in the same way, because
Generally, LaTeX doesn't add new lines, and you have to add them yourselves, which is why even though it's in a different line in the code, since there's no // it would have these f of x and this cases in the same line.
Yep. So if we actually wanted to have a new line, we just simply use the // and that would put this in a separate line, which is not what we want, so we get rid of this, okay? Okay, let me go back. Okay, and some more symbols. The first one is going to be the sums, and that's going to be used quite a bit. And you can use sums by using the command /sum. The underscore represents what your starting index is, and the power is going to be your finishing integer. Okay, so if we have a look at this example, the sum from k equals 1 to 100, we can use that. We can represent that using the command /sum. The k equals 1 would be in the underscore, and the 100 would be in the power. Okay. And it's pretty similar with integrals. The only difference is instead of using /sum, we instead use /int. And the underscore would represent the lower bound. The power would represent the upper bound. Okay. And next up, we have a quick exercise. If you can write the LaTeX code to output what we have over here, okay? So general tip is just go from left to right. We first have the /sum to use the sigma.
I think we just let them try it out.
Okay.
themselves.
Yeah, you guys can try it out. And make sure you guys are writing this in math mode. So wrap your thing around the $signs, okay?
Yep. So we'll be coming around and trying to help you out individually so that you can learn to write this yourselves. So if you have any problems, raise your hand. I'll come running to you. Okay, so
Hey, anyone need any?
if you want to type it in, you can use slash and then right, and then inside either will instead be
And we have an R to the power K, so you can write.
So I just put it down, I don't need to markers or anything.
No, it's fine. So you can have R. Yeah. Next one's going to be equals. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's how normally done. And notice the next thing you have is a fraction. Remember the command fraction?
in like
Slash. That's right. And then you have the nice two set of braces. One for the numerator, one for the denominator. Okay. Yeah.
So wait, did you know how to do that? Hi, are you here for LaTeX? Yes. Take a seat. There is an attendance form, although you have already missed quite a big chunk. I don't know. Like, do you know any LaTeX? Okay, yeah, no problem. Just do the attendance form and yeah.
Are you guys gonna send around the slides?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
So generally, any slides that we have will be on our website, UNSW MathSoc.org. And this is going to be afterwards, so we haven't uploaded them yet, but we will. Just look out for that. It should be, hopefully, before your assignments.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just fill out the attendance form, get your laptop out, and we'll try to get you through everything.
Represent the how it's we have a lot of good resources.
Yeah. Wait, Fred.
Yeah?
I don't get the slides on my phone. Can you like send it on Discord or something? Just like download it and then send it on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, so, hello.
Why?
Okay, so there's two types of math code, right? So the first one is inline, and the reason it's like this is because generally it's going to be sandwiched into two parts, right? And so when we rewrite it, it's going to be easily fixed. So the reason they do this is to fit it inside a single line, right? Without having to like move other lines out. If you want to have it in its own line, you can use slash and then square bracket. And this is called a block math code, which essentially if you try it out and compile it, it will have it in its own line and in the center. So just try to get this in this format with these.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Sorry. I think I sent it. Yeah.
Isn't it how you raise it to the power again? I can only raise the
Oh.
So if you use one power, it generally uses shift and then it gets this symbol.
Instead of the
And
difference.
if you like just
Okay.
yeah, you would get this. So it only takes the first symbol. The only way for it to take multiple symbols is if you use the curly bracket, and that will have everything inside.
Oh, yeah.
So if you rewrite this with curly brackets instead, you'll see that. So otherwise, it just takes the first symbol and everything else is in like normal text. So, that's all. Yeah, it doesn't work to me. I just go with like, so like, yeah, I can't use my assistant code. Use verification code. Then to one one. And then you can go back. And then you, press on unit from, and then just, because sometimes it doesn't work, so just say no, and then you can copy this code. So yes. That was really fun. You have some really nice conversation.
Not for one day.
You go to training for that? Do you think you'll be going to training? No, just programming. I see. Because you do have like very fast recognition. That was really good.
Yeah, I actually thought it was
Very nice. Yeah, so I'm just going to try to quickly walk you through the slides. So, yeah, just want to tell me what you're talking about, and I'll cover that. So, do you guys show me how to find
Oh, good.
Anyone else need help?
So, begin cases with an S.
How do we make graphs?
Graphs? Check out the.
Graph.
That's gonna be in the part 2. So next week, next Tuesday, like 12 to 2, I think.
Oh my God.
That's such
Okay,
a
so it's just a type.
Good. Graphs. I don't think like for your assignments.
You generally don't have to write graphs.
It's more just math.
So you use graph. You haven't used LaTeX at all. Do you know what we use?
I say graph. I say graph. I say graph.
It's a website.
Um,
So there's a website called Overgraph.
I can't remember which way I said it.
You feel it's online, so you need to know.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna walk you through some preamble stuff. Like obviously why do you use LaTeX over Word? So with that, it's essentially just it's a lot easier to write just maths things and also keep formatting very quickly compared to Word where you
Yo.
actually
Oh, yep.
like you're using this like equation stuff like Word wasn't good at all maths equations, so it's a very noticeable drop in quality.
Yeah, so every time I do math assignment, you're gonna be.
And LaTeX is just a language.
I do it on my phone.
So it's essentially just a language which allows you to like I guess accentuate like text. So you just add extra ability to normal text. Yeah, so it's just yeah, that kind of thing. So let's go with my project. So there are multiple ways you can use LaTeX. It's also not the LaTeX sometimes, but most people use LaTeX. Overly, motion, like coding, compilers, since it is a language. But generally people just use overly because it's the easiest, it's clean, you can use it. So they're all the same, yeah. And so LaTeX document generally nothing and everything else is actually you see that it's very easy. They just have like you said it counts so you see so generally I don't know how to start they take environments and so this is the like I guess you can call it like a main function. So this is the like necessary environment of the document. So you do slash begin document slash begin document or release there for you. And then you can just add the that's kind of like the HTML tag, right? Like any HTML page needs that tag. So what's yeah, you can do it like that. But generally, we can just do if we have some basic commands, we can do and then any like arguments that we have would be inside these pages. So you can write anything you want. Maybe like this is question 1. And then you can change the you have to recompile because it is like language. So recompile, this is the question, and then it makes a section. And then you can also do subsections. So would you like to start with subsection? And then this is question 111. And then there's yeah, so generally these kinds of things they don't also take up white space. What, as in like enters and stuff, since it doesn't really affect the actual subsection title, but just trying to use that start with to itself, you know. And then
Okay. Yeah. So let's go through this code. So let's go through this from left to right. Let me see if I can. Okay. So standard procedures is you want to go left to right. So starting off, notice we have this big sigma sign, and remember the command for that is /sum. Okay, so remember all of this you're typing is math, so you want to be in math mode, /sum. And the starting index is going to be k equals 0, so you're going to represent that using the underscore. and you wrap the k equals 0 inside a pair of braces to tell LaTeX that you want this entire expression inside in the base. Okay. And for the n, we just raise it to the power n. And let's compile. How do I... Notice that now we have the first part done, the sum from k equals 0 to n. The next part, notice, is the r to the power k. Okay, and we can just represent that using r, caret symbol, k. Okay. Notice we have this r to the power k outputted. Okay. Next one's just a simple equals. So, oopsies. Equals. And what you want to notice here is we have like a big fraction over here. So the way to write fractions is we use /frac. One set of braces for the numerator and the second set of braces for the bottom. Okay. And inside the numerator, let's have a look at the top. The first thing we have is an r to the power n plus 1. So we go r power. And again, remember, if you want to tell LaTeX you want the entire n plus 1 raised to the power, we tell them by using the braces, and inside the braces is the n plus 1. Okay. And with a -1 on the outside. Now notice on the output we have the r to the power n plus 1 minus 1. And in the denominator, we simply just have an r minus 1, so we type in r minus 1 in the second set of braces. And there we go. That's what we have outputted. Okay. Oops. Okay. Now LaTeX has some inbuilt operators, especially for trig and log expressions. So sine, cos, tan, you can represent that using the commands /sine, /cos, /tan. And same for cosec, sec, and cot. Okay, they have their respective commands. And for inverse trig, we can use /arcsine, or we can go old school and use /sine raised to the power of -1 to denote the inverse sine. Okay, so let me chuck this on the side. So let me denote the difference between using the commands itself and just using the letters. So if we have sin x, we can represent that using firstly /sine and then have a space and write x. Okay. Whereas if we just did the regular sin x, let's have a look at the difference between these two. Okay. Notice that if we use the /sin x, we have a really nice sin x outputted on the first line, whereas if we just simply wrote sin x inside the $signs, we have like slanted, ugly sin x outputted. Okay, so generally, sine, cos, tan, you want to use the commands itself /sine, /cos, /tan because it simply just outputs nicer. Okay. Oopsies. Okay. Stuff. Okay. And you can also define your own operators using the command /operator name. Some of you guys may have done like 4-unit at like high school, and you would have used sys a lot in like complex numbers. But sys, it's not inbuilt into LaTeX, and you would have to define it yourself if you want to use it, okay? And that's simply just using the command /operator name, okay? Okay. Next one's matrices. It's not matrices. They're not too difficult. The two main ways you can represent matrices is either using P matrix to have the matrix of the round parentheses, or you can use B matrix to represent it using the square brackets. Okay. So let's go ahead and use P matrix first. And to write a matrix, you would need to first go into the environment by using /begin P matrix. And remember, every time you have a /begin, you need a /end to tell LaTeX that you've ended it. Otherwise, it just throw an error, scream at you and stuff. I wish I had markers on me, but anyone have a marker? So I can, yeah, cheers. Marcus one. Why is it taped up? Okay, so let's say, for example, you want to write the matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. In LaTeX, it's best to go row by row. So first look at this first row, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And to represent this row, we first write the 1, and to now represent the 2, we need to indicate to LaTeX that we want a space. So we separate it using the AND symbol. And again, to get to the 3, we separate it using the AND symbol. Okay. And if we recompile at the moment, notice that on the output, we have a nice 1, 2, 3 outputted. Okay. Now, to get to the second row, right? Notice that we first need to enter a new line. Okay. And every time we want to enter a new line, we have to use the double backslash to tell LaTeX we're entering a new line. Okay. And the rest is pretty much the same. To write the 4, with the 4, separate it using the AND, 5, and 6. Okay. Compile, and notice that we have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outputted. Okay. And same thing for the final row. Add a double slash to tell LaTeX we're entering the third row, followed by 7 and 8 and 9. Okay. And notice we have a really nice matrix, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 outputted. Okay. Matrices, you would most likely need this in your assignment for Math 1B, not so much for 1A, so this is just a bit of a heads up. Okay. And if instead you wanted the matrix with the square brackets instead, instead of using the P matrix, we instead use B matrix. Okay. So slash begin B matrix, slash end B matrix, and notice on the output we have the square brackets instead. Okay. So that's a wrap on matrices. If instead you want to represent like vectors, okay? So a vector, say, for example, we want like vector 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, a 4D vector. That is, you can use a matrix to represent that, except it's just one single column. So to represent that vector, on the first row, we just have 1. So enter a new line using the double backslash, 2, double backslash, 3, double backslash, 4. Okay. Notice we have the nice 4D vector outputted. So matrices, we can also use those to represent vectors. Okay. Okay. So now you had your first taste of LaTeX. We're now going to move on to how we can present our work neatly. Okay. And next part is going to be on aligning equations, and that's going to be taken over by our guy Ronald.
Hello.
Come on. Yes, sir.
So, just use your like slides in Chrome, just get your some date. Yes, so we will upload these on the
Slides
website.
and video will be uploaded on.
Oh, that's being recorded?
Yes, it's also being recorded. Yeah, so there's going to be a recording on YouTube, and there's also going to be slides on our website, UNSW MathSoc.org. No problem?
How do we access the file?
It's there should be just
It's
the resources page, you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so we will, like, essentially, if you keep going, and you run out of space, it will automatically.
I remember. I will remember.
Yeah, and we will tell you how to get the new page going. Yep, so anyone else have any other problems? No? All good? Yeah, I think we'll continue that.
It works, but I like these. I'm not too sure what's going on.
Right, so something you might have noticed is that whenever you write an equation, something like sine, and then maybe obviously you would want to add an angle, it's in radians, maybe something like slash frac, and then pi on 3, right? So let's just see what happens if we compile this. We see that this actually does have brackets, but they don't exactly fit the fraction. So if you have anything that might be oversized, such as an integral or a sum or a fraction, what you can do is you can add slash left to your left bracket and slash right to your right bracket. And when you recompile, what should happen is that the brackets become big enough so that they fit exactly. And we can also try it out by adding maybe an integral sign /int. And since the integral sign's bigger, you'll see that this bracket has also become bigger. So it just fits to whatever's the biggest symbol inside. Yep, so if you have these mismatched brackets, just use /left/right, and that adjusts the size. All right. So if you wanted this, as you can see, we just add /left to this bracket and /right to the next bracket, and that has resized them to be exactly the fraction size. Now, we have an exercise just like to be able to apply everything that you've learned so far. Just try write this out. We'll be coming around and helping you if you need. Hello.
I'm not here. I just want to look at the room.
Oh, so
Can I just go and have a look and I'll
yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can stay for the LaTeX seminar if you'd like. Yeah, so just try write this out, and we'll just come around, see how you're doing. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think it's that big for an exam.
It's not, but I'm running out of room choices.
So when's the exam?
It's Monday.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought it was like just like later now. So,
No.
yeah. Is it? Yeah.
No. Thank you.
That's the last slide. Oh, yeah. Bro, you got paid attention. Hey.
I did it! Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
You're missing. So, do you see it?
Oh, I did it.
Second one.
This yeah, so generally, you write slash on
No.
just slash left. So essentially, you will like before the bracket. So yeah,
What is it gonna even change? Is it just gonna
so
go
it's slash left instead. So which one?
it was the last bit.
Oh, okay.
And also
Something about getting the brackets.
pi.
So what did you want to do?
Because obviously it is a
Just sign
so
pi.
Just sign what? Okay.
but
First thing
before.
that you will notice every time using sign calls
Slash left, right?
instead of just like sign, slash.
Yeah,
Yep. So any issues, just let me know. I'll try it out.
And it's free to call it.
Wait, you just put brackets in
Wait.
But it just put brackets, I swear, brackets there.
Now the sign is good. Okay.
Um,
Let's see. What else?
Those look like brackets.
Oh, yeah.
Also, anything in this mode, you should try to add.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but.
And also, you can use this one.
So notice how you slash
Because you started with a slash.
left parentheses right.
So square bracket, get the end of the
This
slash.
should just be slash right.
When I did this,
And then
this was
right
just
parentheses.
and then it added
Yeah.
like a.
It's because it's
It
slash.
was an extra bracket.
Yeah, because it's a slash.
Yeah.
And slash. It's a command, right?
Command what? What is command?
Yeah, so essentially, like, $1 means that it's in line mode. So generally, the reason why we use it because we need to add like symbols in paragraphs, right?
Yes.
Without making any new line. So that's what $1 does. And if we do, for example, if yeah, then this is wrong. That's why it's in paragraph. Right? Like it's limited and so slash bracket, and then it will add a starting bracket and ending set bracket. So what this does, it makes
See ya.
line and set line. So it's like a standout
Oh.
equation.
So does that mean I'm meant to have like this here?
So it's like either you use this or you use this. So you can't use like both.
Okay, so
It's like
what is my left and right finger?
Okay.
so.
Anyone else need help?
Yes. So left and right. Brackets. So essentially, brackets without left and right, it's just gonna have more bracket sizes. And for example, if you have a fraction in between, it's not gonna fit in the fraction.
Oh, I'm not even trying to put in brackets, I'm just trying to do that.
Then you're gonna put those in.
But mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah, just the where does it space? Oh, that's just formatting problems.
What do you mean?
The actual.
Yeah.
Like this.
Whoa.
Screw it on. And so what's wrong? Your The way. Yeah.
It's
Way there.
Ode.
Way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, the
if
same.
LaTeX is
You're gonna let me in now because you
invented
The whole time.
in the
Oh
slash
my
class
God.
Yeah,
now
so-
you only one.
I mean,
Isn't it
it's
just
not,
meant-
honestly, it's not my choice, since obviously
So-
general education. Yeah, so what's wrong?
Is that right?
let me
It's not right, because you see, it's centered
yeah,
and.
so let me be right back.
So if it's centered and you.
Basket, I'm pretty sure it is.
Something. You
You'd have to
put something in the
use
start.
these brackets instead, right?
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like choosing, do you
Oh,
want it
yeah.
in the same bracket as normal text, or do you want it on the line?
Well, is that not Is that not in the new one?
It's in, so
If you don't want LaTeX to do this indenting thing,
It is randomly.
yeah, it's D slash
and we can
use package.
it's gonna put in the same box. And the only reason it's in the new line is because you messed up the formatting.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
And yeah, so essentially, some,
Oh,
they
there's
have
this
some
one.
don't, but you usually try.
Oh,
You
does that
see
make
how
like
these
isn't it
parentheses
like
are
the
like
$2
really
signs
small?
on the
Yeah,
You
east
get
side?
like a
So
What does that do again? Doesn't that put it in the middle?
If you see the parentheses are like
Generally,
small,
use that.
compared to like the fraction, and you want to like
Okay.
wrap it
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
That's why we use instead of just
And get
writing
rid of my dollar sign?
parentheses,
No,
we actually
not
use
there.
slash left.
Because LaTeX is made up of commands, right? So
Yeah.
slash
So if you go to
square root
Oh, that's one.
is one command. If you have this, it's no
so
longer slash
on your
square
left
root. So it's gonna
parentheses,
treat square root as just a normal
yeah,
word.
before you
So if
actually
you
write
recompile
parentheses,
it, it's just gonna write
slash
square root.
left.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Before,
Okay.
so
So
go
instead
here,
you replace this
here,
dollar
type
sign
slash,
here with a slash square
And
bracket,
Oh.
and then you
That's
replace
what-
the other dollar sign
and then for this
Another
right
slash
parentheses,
and ending bracket.
type
And if you read slash,
slash right.
it's gonna come up.
And then we recompile this.
I mean, it's like, it's a learning one.
Okay, it's not as noticeable, but
Like,
if
I
you have
struggle
like
as well.
really
Like,
nested,
But the only
like
reason
large
I'm
expression,
like
very
so
large
confident
expression,
with it
you
now
want
is
to wrap
because
it
I have
around
to use
large
it
parentheses.
constantly. Like,
Um,
that's it,
you
right?
would
Like,
use the command
it's like
slash
anything,
left
it's literally a skill.
slash
If you
right,
don't use it, you're
right
right.
parentheses.
Just like practice.
Um,
Hi,
welcome
Hello.
back.
how's it feel?
It was awkward as
So
fuck.
I'll give you another example.
I think I like you.
I just random one.
Yeah, because you copied mine.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
Oh, so that's
yeah,
from the
yeah.
page number.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it
Okay,
is.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it won't
Yeah,
push it.
okay.
I will never be able to look at Anne and lock in the eyes ever again. I'll see
So,
how
because
people.
you added
It's
these.
like really parentheses are
yeah.
like really ugly. So like
Yeah.
wrapping around.
Oh, wow.
It was like
I want to fix that.
Two brackets.
How do you put the slash right?
that was really
So
weird.
it's gonna be slash
I haven't seen you.
brackets brackets.
Yeah.
Instead of
And then
this,
this
You didn't come up with us last time. You're the one who came up with the idea of going out, and you did. I'm so mad. Like Selena, how could she sneak away like this?
for the right parentheses.
Oh,
So if you try it now,
Notice
Oh,
that
I've
it
seen
looks
it.
much nicer.
I was just like trying to prove like
you want to be
right
right
thing,
now.
that's the whole thing.
by using
although of course there
Okay.
is a bit of problem, there's meant to be brackets here. But yeah, that's
Easy.
So this whole thing,
How do you start a
so
new
this
page?
rack is
I
actually
love that.
this rack.
Yeah, it
So
looks
it
good.
loops
Yeah.
back, looping, looping, and this rack fit connect. So you have to
Something like that, push it down, but
and then you add these
No, it's okay.
like this.
Easy, easy. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, wow.
And do you know how to resize them?
Is there really like
Yeah, so before left, you do slash left, and before
It was kind of formal. Like the girl kept staring at the
and then that
other guy who
resizes.
interviewed his like it was so weird because like his block has the experience for what happened last year, but and doesn't. So
Wait,
Lucky.
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 yeah.
Why would you call him Lucky?
Yeah,
Because we have
sure,
someone-
yeah, because there is some. There's
we have
someone
someone named
called
Locke,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because Locke is the social person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any other problems? Was everyone able to do it? Amazing, full stars.
Okay. I will just.
Right.
this one out.
And if you're happy with that, we'll move on. So, this is the answer if you're interested. So we noticed that there was this square root 2 here, which is obviously a math symbol, so it has to be in math mode. Square root 2 here, and then these should have been in its own block math mode. So this is the answer right here. We will upload slides, so you will get this. There is also a recording. It's recording right now. Say hi to YouTube. So, yeah, some people are asking, how do I get a new page? So there's two ways, but generally you'll use something called page break. So let's say that we had something here. If we just add / page break, what it does is it puts everything after this. It should, whoops, sorry, let's do /section. I think this should work now. Yep, it puts everything after this page break right here in a new page over here. So anything that you do after this page break will appear on this new page. So something else that some people have asked is, well, let's say you were writing something down and then you wanted to add a sum, and then maybe like on the bottom it's going to be n equals 1, and on the top it's going to be 100. Since it's in line, they try to like fit it in so that it doesn't have to expand in any other lines, right? So like if you write another line, it's going to be the same spacing as a normal paragraph. But if you want to have an inline equation be like its normal size, so we see that if we put it in a block equation and then we make a sum, we'll see that it's going to be its full size. To do that, essentially, before everything and after this $, we add /display style. Since obviously it's going to display it in the style that it usually would. And if you do that, we'll see that this actually does become larger. It moves other lines away and it makes it in the same style as if it was in a block. And there are some other things. So if you want to add vertical space, you can do something like, for example, /v space, vertical space, and in the curly brackets, we can add something like /baseline skip. So what this command does is it adds a vertical space in between this sum and this paragraph, and the space is the line of one line. So baseline skip just means skip one line's worth of space. And we also can add horizontal space. So if we add horizontal space, so first we'll see that if we just render this out, there's like no horizontal space here. We can add something like h space, and then we can add just some measurement. So we can just move this down. Yep, so we can add a measurement, maybe, for example, 1.5 inches, and it should move this text. Oh. No, I thought I figured out why it happened. No. I think like this. Oh. Yeah. So essentially just add h space and then maybe add some random increments, and it moves it up by 1.5 inches, which, if you can tell, is a bit more than what we want, but of course that's essentially how it works. And then we also have a link right here, but you can also search it up, lengths in LaTeX, and if you search it up, there's a guide right here. So all of the information that you need is also available online. So if you don't know something, feel free to search it up. But if you search up lengths in LaTeX, it gives you every single unit that you can use, and of course you just add a number in front of it. So you could do like 10 SP, which is 10 special points, things like that. And we can also use something called a mini page, and essentially this is the way you get columns. So for example, let's begin a mini page, and then what we do is we also have to end the mini page first, since just like any environment, if you begin something, you end something. And then what you can do is, after this line in begin mini page, you add extra brackets, and then you do, for example, 0.5 slash text width. So text width means the size of this entire width that text can exist in, and 0.5 means you want half of that. And then we can just add a paragraph that does not really matter, but is quite long in size. And what we'll see is, usually it would take up this entire line, but instead, after the halfway mark, it just moves on. And of course, you can change it. You can maybe do 0.2 width if you want. So this has made it so that it's a column of 0.2 width. And then, of course, you can also add some other columns just by placing extra mini pages next to it. So we see that there are 3 mini pages of 0.2 length, and we see 3 columns, which are 20% of the total width. So if you're happy with that, we're gonna start learning about tables. Tables are gonna be used a lot less compared to everything else we've learned, but they can be pretty good to learn, although I don't see them in your assignments as much. So obviously, if you have somewhere to go, feel free to leave. That's basically all the content you need to be able to write all of your assignments. But if you want to stay, yeah, feel free to do so as well. And if you want to write a table, we use a tabular environment. So like any other environment, we do slash begin, and inside the curly brackets, we do tabular. And then of course we do end tabular. Now, we've introduced this kind of formatting. In front of this begin, we can have curly brackets, and then we have C, and then this pipe, which is going to be shift, backslash. So this slash command we've been using, if you do shift and that slash, you get this pipe symbol. And let's just do 2 C's for now. We'll learn what they do later. But then what you can do is you can just write in any kind of table you like. So let's say we have column here, column 1, and then to move on to the next column, goodbye. We have an and symbol, and then we can do column 2. And if we want to add a new row, we just create a new line, and then we can do row 2, and then an and symbol to move on to the next column, and then another maybe Yep, so now you see that there is a table with 2 columns and 2 rows, like we've specified. And essentially, what we see is that these letters L, C, or R determine what kind of alignment they have. So you see that in each column, it is centered. So that's what the C means. But if we replace this with an L, it's going to align them to the left. And if we replace this with a right, so R, it's going to align it to the right. Now, we can also add extra separators. So if you want to add extra columns, say you wanted a line before the left column and a line after the right column, we can add those. And it adds these 2 lines. And of course, it's not just 2 columns. We can add extra ones. So we can do C, C, which adds 2 extra columns, and then we can have usage of these 2 extra columns right here. And then something else we can do is we can also add horizontal. Whoa, what happened? Keeps jumping. It's a bit on Adderall. Okay, so we can add horizontal lines as well, because obviously generally a table, it's going to have vertical horizontal lines. So we want a horizontal line before, we just do /h line for horizontal line. We don't want a line in the middle, /h line. And then if we recompile, we'll see that this top line has been added and this line has been added right here. So if we want a bottom line, obviously it's just /h line, and then it creates a line on the bottom. Oh yeah, sorry. So before the bottom H line, but you need a double slash, so we add the double slash, and then we H line, and then it adds this bottom line. So, just an exercise, would you like to recreate this table? Just to have these left aligned, center aligned, and right aligned, and also just add the borders. We'll come around, see how you're doing, and yeah.
Dude, I don't know too much about this table stuff. Always copy and paste the format. They're pretty. If you need it, you can just research it up.
How's it going? I mean, have you used LaTeX before?
Not really. I used it before for like writing like physics things. I used like a LaTeX generator or just typing this.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like it automatically does it and then you paste it so
Yeah.
later.
That's generally what they use.
Yeah,
It's just
hacks.
yeah. I mean,
It's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do this kind of stuff.
I mean, literally every research paper you'll ever see is written in LaTeX.
Yeah, they're
so
all the
obviously
same format.
yeah.
I know this format. Yeah, I've
you
seen
can
it.
change it. They're just too lazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's why you need functions for like functionality for like columns, tables, everything you would need to write a research paper is in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we import this into something like
Hmm?
MathSoc
Uh, So I'm not too sure because every like kind of website has their own thing. So you just have to learn specifically what MathExchange does because maybe it's different to what EdSim uses. You know? So yeah.
So this is the one that.
This is what LaTeX uses. So LaTeX is a specific language, but MathExchange, for example, could use another because this is not the only language out there to like generate math symbols. Like there's like KTEX or like Noda, but yeah, this is the most common one.
So MathSoc, I think they also use some latent, so can we like directly call?
Then you should be able to, yeah. Yeah. So
weird.
I used to type and they get angry at me.
Oh.
People just like stop. Please type in.
yeah. So do you have any
Actually
problems?
use this?
Yes.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, they have that kind of stuff.
oh, so you
They
don't
have like
add
a
these.
special guidance.
So Hline is a command by
If
itself.
we
You
just
don't add
copy
these.
pasted this, they just
Yeah.
without.
And then
I'm not sure like if it doesn't random. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's in latex.
Oh,
So the only thing that they recognized
and then
was the
before the final Hline, you would do
these with
slash
the
slash for a new
Oh,
line.
okay, I see. Because
No.
normal people,
That's the-
they
those
use
are-
double
yeah.
on dollar signs for, because I haven't seen it. So so yeah, that should be fine. You can copy paste everything, except for the overlay ones. These are specific to overlay. So the only thing that you can do is the dollar sign stuff.
Wait, so
Yeah, because you can only do the like the you can type in later for sure, but you just lose the like formatting stuff. Because like this probably
Yeah,
is only
obviously,
for
yeah.
overlays. Yeah.
not
Like,
only for
other
overlay,
other like,
but like
word
yeah.
processes.
Generally, they do simplify it and remove like what you would usually not find, because obviously
Yeah, you don't
if
need
it's,
new pages.
yeah, if it's a post, it's just gonna be one long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can copy paste like this kind of stuff.
Waste so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty
good.
Yeah. The same rules.
Yes, it's just
Now I
such
know
a
it. Yeah, and then you have to work it out.
You get to do
That's
it
what I
like
used to
Bro,
do.
look how good this is.
I only have to.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's solid. You don't believe it?
Like, what if you had to write something like a 50-page thing?
Oh, we have to do that every term because we are part of the team that writes the revisions and stuff. So we do this
And
regularly.
you literally don't even get
No,
paid.
because
No.
That's bad.
we just use last year's slide and we just change something.
Yeah, but it's still later. Yeah.
What if you had to write from scratch? That would take so much time.
Some actually do it from scratch, and then you just agree. We just enjoy math.
Like law and maths. Literally, law and maths. That's like
Are you gonna
that's like oxymoron. That's so cool. Like people go to English do law, people go to
Can you like drop the
maths do
odds and
maths.
still keep
You do both.
I really
So
like
cool.
So it's
I was too
what people do is generally they use
Yeah,
normal
yeah.
math
So when I
and then
get
they just
sick
take
of
the higher
like
courses.
doing maths, I do like
Yeah.
So does that make it advanced?
No, because what advanced does is that they force you to take the higher courses. So 113 you can't take if you're doing advanced maths.
Oh, is that why you're doing 114? I have no idea why I'm doing 114. Like, that was dumb of mine.
It's because you did 4 units.
Because they literally, I didn't realize it doesn't even count anything extra. Just that I will likely fail, then I'm picking it.
Actually,
That's
no,
what it is.
Yeah.
Was it actually?
Well,
No, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
I heard they did it, so I was
they're
like, why
not
am I
doing
doing it?
courses, so they try to make it so that
And
whatever
actually,
you would have learned
maths and
in
stuff.
like the lower one, they would try to adjust.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, okay.
But the lecture is for our course.
Everyone told me there was no
There's a
section,
chance-
and I was
there's a
like, why
chance
am I
I passed.
following?
Yeah. Well, are they also first years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, I'm slowly convincing people to go from 3-1 to 4.
How?
No, you can
You can go either way.
You can go up. I mean, like, he's doing like a lower comp sci course.
What the
and
hell? Why?
The mark is capped at 95.
Why?
I'm doing it because it's less workload and
Yeah.
I'm very busy. So.
So,
Four.
What for? Like, is it for your director role? Or?
Lower.
Oh, lower.
internships,
Which
director,
course?
subcom,
Uh,
all that. So busy.
So when they say 2 to 3 hours a week, is that
No,
like-
that's subcom. We're directors, so like.
So directors do a lot
Yeah,
more.
it's a lot more.
Okay,
They want to
I
do
see.
That's respectable.
Yes. It's like they add 3 extra assignments. And it's not worth it, it's still 5 months. Like, what's worth it? It's not even insanity.
True, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also add small questions to get that extra part.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You have.
No.
Wait, so are you studying?
Why does it not?
I was originally just I was originally just
No.
because I just
Forces latex
That's
going.
like a
Oh,
lot of
no.
math.
No, I'm doing it. I really trying to do
Very
it.
But then why is the line not going down? If you don't have anything there, that's fine.
And become
You need to have something
like,
written in
that's
there.
something.
But you're here for 5 years.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you a talented student?
I used to.
How, what is it?
Essentially, you got
That's why I
to
just
test one
want
and they put you in a different tune.
No, I thought I was in that, but I'm in a different
Oh,
talent.
talent
Sorry, I
shoot
always
program.
do control Q because that's what.
Yes.
That's what Bruce is saying. You can ask Bruce.
That's not.
It's like
Yeah.
maths.
Yeah, this is this team. This expert. So we put.
Now I have to do my
No,
stuff.
so, okay, so.
Holy crap.
They're both called talented students, but
Oh,
I'm
oh,
confused.
Is that
What's
what
your-
the lab testing then?
Huh?
The lab test like kind of mode is
I
like.
haven't done like audits yet.
Oh, then you would add it.
Because I don't do 108 because everyone else is doing
And
it.
like, there's like weird, like,
Oh.
like you have to do something.
I saw it already. People ask me around
What you
about
use, yeah, so you can use mode
like,
space.
you know, Math Olympics, so you remember like for math theorem, like practice from images
Oh yeah, is that in
Yeah, that was in, that was the mod.
Is
It's
it
really
cool?
cool. It's like
Oh, it's
running
because I'm
like
doing
2 to the power of like 1,000, you know, like mod.
But I thought it was because it was the dean of science that
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
What is
exactly.
the stuff we do now is like real life was the
Yeah,
definition of
exactly.
engineering and science.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's so sad.
Oh.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around
That's
matrices.
Oh yeah.
You still need
The way they teach.
Ah,
it's like still
Ronnie,
matrices
you need markers?
way or something.
Oh,
Hmm?
yeah.
You need the
I've never seen matrices
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is why New South Wales syllabus is terrible. Every other place does it.
I don't know why.
I guess just don't write two tables together.
But no, and also,
Wait. These space doesn't work.
I'll find you afterwards. Just displace it. I'm not even stressed. How stressed I was studying outside of the bench.
Yeah, I need a.
Thank you.
I need to go to my
Just graduated as a tutor and they gave me
and then I have to go to my lecture. Maths is I might stay actually. Not sure. Depends.
It's a
Half day depends. So
It is a
yeah, it's a
depends on how long the computer science piece is.
Everyone there is like wants to smile.
Bro, I'm just so happy I don't
For this one,
Today.
you have to
Yeah,
put the
How you
power
like
like
studying for
Oh,
quite a lot.
Yeah, right, it's like,
So,
way more money.
Yeah, but you should still be writing.
So
But I can download. I can raise some
Yeah.
I just downloaded it and then changed the formatting.
I do 2 meters tall.
Wow.
yeah, so everyone on board with that? Any problems?
2 meters.
If not,
Wait,
I think
need to
we're-
stand, wait,
One.
I need to stand up so I have perspective. 2 meters.
Nowhere near.
Wait, so are you guys good? Did you guys finish?
I'm 170.
No, what's it?
I think that's only
Yeah, I know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm just
Fine.
shocked.
Right.
You're all good.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough.
Okay, so obviously, like a table by itself is quite useless. You need something like a title, a caption, things like that. So generally, what you do is you have a slash begin table, and you use the table environment. And a table environment is like an overall, like, I guess like it's like a container for the table, and then it adds just extra stuff like the positioning of the table, the title, whether to censor it or not, a caption, label, things like that. So obviously, if we just take this table that we made right here, and then we copy it in, we should be able to see that it has rendered up here as a table, and it's centered because of this slash centering. So we'll learn about that later, but yeah, this is just imported our table, and then what we can do is we can just add a caption. So this is a word about my table, and if you add this caption in, it's just gonna use it to describe this table. And then we also have some positions. So we can do HTBPH. So if we put in H for here, it should put the table exactly where you wanted it. So it's going to be right here, but you can also have it at T, which means top. So it's going to have the table be at the top. You can do it at the bottom, B, and just have it rendered at the bottom. So just play around with that. And then we also have like ways we can get images in. So the way you get an image is we first, right here in this place, we have this upload button. So if we upload a file, let's say that we went here and we got doc.jpg in here. We'll see that it's right here, but it's not actually included in our document. The way we do that is we use something called /include graphics. So we can do /include graphics right here, and then in these we can write out doc.jpg, which is the image that I have, and we render it out. We see this image, but where are the docs? Oh no, it's outside the page because the page was too small. So what we can do is we can adjust the width. So in these square brackets right here, we can do width equals, equals, and then let's say /text width And what it does is it makes it so that it fits in the width of a text. And boom, we have some very cute ducklings. And of course, this is required with using the package up here. Generally, when you create your own document, they'll already add this package, so don't worry about it. But we do need this. Like if we don't have this right here, you'll see that there's going to be an error instead. So just remember to include the package. So this package right here, Graphics X. So Graphic X, it's generally included when you make a blank project or a new project, so you don't usually worry about it, but if it's not there, just add it. No problems. And then we can also give it like a caption and stuff. So we can use /begin and then figure, and then we can copy and paste this duck image in here. So it's kind of like the table thing again. So we have tabular, which is the actual table, and then table, which is an environment that adds like a caption, a title, label, things like that. And in the same way, an image, you can add a caption by having the image within a figure environment. So we can add a caption right here. Some ducks playing around. Maybe we change this to some because this is a maths event. Surely. And some ducks playing around. Nice. And of course, in the same way, I don't know, but can you do this? What if we add a H here? So, oh, whoops, oh, those square brackets. Just try it out. Yep, so we can, in the same way with the table, we can add the square brackets and then a H. So that just means that we position it to be here. So we place it exactly where it is in the LaTeX. And that's basically the end. So we do have a second workshop, which is going to be like next week, same time. It's going to be a bit shorter. It's going to be 30 minutes of like kind of a seminar for some more advanced topics, things like graphing and some extra little tidbits for making presentations in LaTeX, things like that. But this is basically all you need. Afterwards, of course, next week we also have a competition where you essentially race people to see how best you can write LaTeX, and there are some cash prizes. Apparently, I'm not allowed to go in a competition I organize myself. But yeah, there are heaps of guides out there. Of course, some people here like talked about Math Stack Exchange. We have overleaf guides, like you saw on here. You type stuff in. Anything you need to know in like LaTeX, it's on this overleaf guide, so you can search stuff up. Maybe something like section, and then it comes up with anything you need for a section. Obviously, we can use previous LaTeX workshops. We have a ton on YouTube. Search up LaTeX workshop, CSESoc, MathSoc, and it should be up there. And then, of course, you can use Google. And if you want to try to recreate this, you can, but that's just an optional exercise for you. And then we have some other things. So we have a package called listing, which is essentially, let's just replace all of this. If we use /use package, and then we have listing right here. What we can use is, I believe, wait, what's the command? Is it lst listing?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Oh, listing. Yep. And essentially, anything you write will be rendered as if it's code. That's basically it. So maybe we can do while I is not equal to 0. So we can write some random code here, and then it generates this code in LaTeX.
Infinite loop.
Yeah. And you can also use verbatim. And then other than that, we have the Greek symbols. Obviously, things like your gamma, delta, alpha, beta, zeta, all of these, they're all available. Obviously, things like pi and sigma as well, they're all available as symbols. These are the LaTeX codes that you can use. So just feel free to use them. If you don't know one, search it up. Obviously, no harm in that. But yeah, that's basically the end. Thank you for coming,
Okay,
and
thank you
I
all.
hope you learnt enough LaTeX so that you were able to do your assignments.
Yeah. Good luck for your assignments and all of your courses that you're doing at the moment.
So we'll be sticking around for a bit, so if you have any specific questions that you have, we'll be happy to answer them. All good?
Stop sharing. Yeah, end screen. Wait for the end part to load first, and then wait for this